This one is absolutely mental. I said in my vlog last night, I have no idea how I'm going to be able to make 6 things that we learn. It's like, YouTube isn't the most difficult job to do in the world. We all know it's not like the most taxing thing there ever is. It's not the easiest, but it's certainly not the hardest. Settling with 6 things for this video kept me up a little bit last night, I'm not gonna lie, but here we are. Welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. The sun is shining in my face. It's November the 6th, and it is the morning after the night before, which was bonfire night, also known as the night that Chelsea recovered a 3-goal deficit to get a 4-4 draw at home to Ajax in Europe's most prestigious competition, the Uefa Champions League. It always delivers the best nights under the lights, and last night was, I'm not even saying this as an exaggeration, it was the best game of football that I have seen in the flesh myself. So Chelsea were 4-1 down. We come back to draw the game 4-4. This is 6 things that we learn, and it's actually very difficult to break this down into actually 6 things as opposed to 7, 8, 9, 10 or 184. But we're here with 6 things, but I do want to give 2 mentions before we get into the 6 main things. I'm trying to focus on Chelsea players, the way that we played. VAR is just like, it's just flipping annoying. I'm done with it. I've had enough of it. The decisions that the video assistant referee makes aren't even the correct decisions the majority of the time anyway. So what's the flipping point of not only just killing the passion in football that comes with celebrating a 5-4 when Azpilicueta scored that goal? Honestly, the limbs in the Matthew Harden end were absolutely incredible in some of the videos that I've seen. The limbs in the shed were like nothing I've ever seen at Stamford Bridge before. It was incredible. And then VAR is like, you know what? No. It's like the supply teacher that comes in, who the majority of the time a supply teacher comes in and you can run riot in the classroom, but there's that one who pretty much threatens child abuse and then kills all the fun for everybody. VAR is a nightmare. VAR is an absolute disgrace to football. It's killing the passion in the game. That's all I'm going to say about that. The second thing is the referee. I see a load of Ajax fans bitter on Twitter because their team couldn't hold on to a 3-goal lead away from home. Not my problem, mate. At the end of the day, Ajax fans think some of the decisions went against them. I also think some of the decisions in the game went against Chelsea as well. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Move on from it. You've still got a job to do. You might not fully qualify. Stop moaning about the game. I'm not going to stand here and moan about it too much more, but the referee and the video assistant referee, nah. So now we got that kind of nonsense out the way, let's actually get into the breakdown of the game then, shall we? The first thing that we have learned, I've decided to break it up into a different kind of order today because it was just a mental game, and I thought if we just have a load of colours on the pitch, not I'm trying to give any of you epilepsy, although the lights aren't really flashing, they're just like blocks with different colours, but forget I even said that. We're going to start with a yellow box because this box is kind of like a positive, a negative, all moulded into one, and it's a coming of age moment. It's a welcome to the future moment for Chelsea Football Club with Reece James coming in and taking over the baton from Cesar Azpilicueta. Let's just focus a little bit first of all on Azpilicueta's first half performance. It wasn't good enough. Defensive errors, he was getting caught going forward again, he wasn't getting back in time. Positionally, organisationally, it wasn't good enough from Azpi, giving away fouls as well, and it wasn't great. Frank Lampard sees that things aren't going well defensively, we'll get into the other half of the pitch in a moment, but he puts Azpilicueta into the left back position, which I actually think he's a much better left back than he is a right back. He looks far more comfortable in that position, and he brings on the 19-year-old Reece James. When Reece James scored and I heard that it was him that got the goal, because from where I was stood it was like everything was like coming into my eyes at once and I couldn't quite make out who it was who stuck the ball in the back of the net. Reece James is 19 years old. He crosses the ball like David Beckham. He defends like a bloke who's been doing it for 10 years. I'm telling you now, Reece James is the complete right back, and he is the future for Chelsea Football Club and also England. In a position where England are blessed with multiple right backs, Reece James will be the number 1. I'm telling you now, this kid can play. Not only that, he bought an attacking assurity for Chelsea. We know that he can put in a very good ball into the box, but he also is such a great defender. We very rarely, if ever, see Reece James give away unnecessary fouls. He always knows when to just try and hold off the player, when to show him outside of the box. If you look at when Ajax, Kepa actually made a really good save in the second half when the game was level at 4-4. Reece James could have easily fouled the Ajax player from behind, just inside the Chelsea box. He was pushing the Ajax player out of the box. He didn't make the foul. He forced him out. In the end, he actually got the shot away. Fair play to the Ajax lad. And then Kepa made the save. But Reece James is not only very good going forward and very good with his tackling, he's also very, very strong, and he never dives into a tackle that he knows he isn't going to win. For a 19-year-old player to come in, Champions League, at Stamford Bridge, under the lights, your team needs a goal, for him to bury that ball after it was ricocheting around everywhere, came off the keeper, came off defenders, Reece James buries it in the back of the net. Chelsea are level, and it was Reece James who made the difference yesterday for us from an attacking sense, and I felt so much more confident with Azpilicueta going over to left back and Reece James at right back. So I'm not going to ignore the poor performance from Azpi in the first half, but to keep mentioning him for 1 second, he got the goal, he was in the right place at the right time, ghosting in at the back post to score when it might not have gone in off of Tammy's touch, so it was very important he was there. And then, the 5-4 goal that wasn't the goal because VAR is a total Azpilicueta again going forward, showing what he can do, the passion, the grit, the determination, the leadership from Azpi. The celebration was one of the most beautiful things I've seen at Stamford Bridge, and then it's just like, nope, you're not having that one, you bunch of idiots. Piss off, VAR, I've had enough of you. Honestly, ruins the game, it really does. But Azpilicueta in that second half turned up with a leader's, captain's performance and drove Chelsea forward, and he could have had 2 goals on the night. He got 1, could have been, should have been 2, we won't talk about it, whatever. It probably was handball, not gonna lie. It was a game of 2 halves from Azpilicueta. I've given this one a yellow box because I do feel as though when Emerson comes back and he is fully fit, it's got to be Emerson at left back and Reece James at right back. We've been kind of like easing him in, nurturing is the word I've used this season so far with Reece James. It's at a point now where I think we all just need to admit that the kid is brilliant. Azpilicueta, right back, I'm not fully convinced. Week in, week out, he keeps putting in good performances, then a dodgy one, a good one, a dodgy one. Reece just looks so composed. For a young man, I think he is ready to nail a starting place for Chelsea. That was only 1 flipping box. How am I going to survive this video? So box number 2, we're going to roll with a green box, and we are going to give it to the Italian talisman, Jorginho. This man takes the best penalties in football right now. Not gonna lie, every time he steps up, there is palpitations in my heart every single time, just in case he misses it, like he did against Man City in the Capital One Cup final last season, but he just doesn't seem to be fazed by anything. If we take a focus quickly on the first penalty, for Chelsea to concede so early in the game, an immediate response was absolutely necessary before the game went away from us. Jorginho scored that one. Let's just focus on the more pressured penalty, which was the second penalty that he took last night. There was a massive wait, there were red cards flying out everywhere. I didn't even know that they went down to 9 men. That's how clueless I was in the game. I knew that they got 1 red card, didn't see the second one. So Jorginho has stood there with the ball in his hands. He's got all of the Ajax players surrounding the referee, typical European side, getting around the referee, just trying to like wiggle their way in to make him change his decision. Get out of his face, mate. I've had enough of seeing that. Always the case in Europe. Jorginho is just there, biding his time, being patient, not letting the Ajax players get into his head, showing a calm, collected head. And then what does he go and do? He sticks it in the side of the net. He doesn't just stick it in the back of the net. And I will give some credit to the Ajax goalkeeper. Oh Nana, what's my name, as the Rihanna song goes. He was actually really, really good last night for Ajax. He made some incredible saves that actually allowed them to go away from Stamford Bridge with a point. No chance with either of the penalties. Jorginho just gets into the psyche of the goalkeeper. Maybe it's just the goalkeeper can't get into Jorginho's mind because Jorginho is so good in these pressure situations. And it wasn't just the 2 goals from penalties last night that I want to bring up from Jorginho. It's the vocality of this man, the way he just constantly orders, shouts the players around. He's a leader. You see him running away from the Matthew Harden, doing the old chin up thing as well. Absolutely phenomenal yesterday from Jorginho. Every single time I see this man in a Chelsea shirt, I love him even more. He's a natural leader. I think he will end up getting the full captaincy when Azpilicueta is slowly kind of pushed out of the team. And again, I don't want to disrespect Azpi. I don't want people to think it's just me not understanding how much of a bargain, brilliant signing Azpilicueta has been. It's just at the moment there is a changing of the guard at Chelsea. We've seen the spine that has been just so good over recent years. It's changed. We've had 3 years of turbulence where we had that dream season under Conte, and then we had that second season where, yeah, we got an FA Cup, but it wasn't brilliant. We then had last season under Maurizio Sarri where no one really knows where the consistency was going to come. This season, one massive consistency has been Jorginho's performances, Jorginho's leadership, passion, and everything he brings as a leader to this Chelsea Chelsea team. Absolutely brilliant again from the Italian last night. So box number 3, we move into a red box, and it's a red for Marcos Alonso. At half-time, if under other Chelsea managers, they would have been a bit scared to bring off a player that just wasn't performing up to the standard that we need to expect. Marcos Alonso last night had a woeful half of football. I hate to say it because so many times in the season, this season, when he's come back into the team, he's actually performed really well for us. And we all know that it's the attacking threat that Marcos Alonso brings to this Chelsea team that is his massive, massive standout highlight. But last night, that cross, I think we all know what one I'm talking about. I'm not going to show it on here because I don't have any footage of it that isn't going to get me a strike, and I need to monetize these videos to pay for this gaff. Alonso, it was just a poor half of football. And then credit to Frank Lampard, he saw that, and it wasn't, oh, let's just give him another 10-15 minutes, see if we can correct the problem himself. This isn't working. That wasn't good enough. We've got a hungry, talented player in Reece who can come onto the pitch, and we have faith in Azpilicueta to move over to the left-back role. Alonso is coming off now. Marcos Alonso gives way, and it was the right decision. It was an awful half from him. Even the thing that really frustrates me is when he is the furthest forward on the pitch, and Ajax are running away with the ball on the counter-attack, he's jogging as if he's just flipping warming up for a jog. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's warming up for a jog. Walking / jogging, I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. It's not the kind of commitment I need to see. I need to see you sprinting back, whether you're a fast agility player or not. No. Not good enough from Alonso. He gets a red box from me. As we mentioned with the whole yellow box for the first thing in this video, there is a changing of the guard happening right now at Chelsea. When Emerson comes back and he stops getting these little niggles so that he can play consistently, I fully expect Alonso to lose his place. And seeing Azpilicueta last night at left back, I also think that he is a better option in that position as well. Sorry, Marcus, you've given us some brilliant moments, but I think your time as Chelsea's left back might well be up. So box number 4, we're going to talk about our young wingers. We're going to talk about Callum Hudson-Odoi, who came off the bench. We're going to talk about Christian Pulisic, who won the penalty and had some industrious energy coming out of him in that second half to enable Chelsea to keep driving forward. I've also put Willian in this box as well. I looked on Twitter last night and I was in the taxi on the way home editing the video on Adobe Rush to get that match vlog out for you guys. If you haven't seen it yet, link in the description. You've got to go and watch it. It's probably one of the best match vlogs I've ever done. Tilda was there with me as well, made it even more enjoyable. But yeah, last night, those 3 players, I put them in a green box because they never stopped trying to run at the players in the Ajax defence. And I said to Tilda, I said to people around me, even at 4-1 down, I believed that we could get something back from the game. I'm not just going to sit here and say, like, oh yeah, I told you so. We were always going to draw 4-4 when we're 4-1 down. I saw in the 2 matches we played against Ajax and watching a few of their other games in recent seasons, going forward, Ajax are a beautifully brilliant side. Defensively, they're extremely vulnerable. They have good individual defenders, but they're a very, very young team. Daley Blind, he got sent off. He's never really been the most world-class centre-back in world football, has he? He's not even really a defender by trade, but he has now. But when we were 4-1 down, I saw the opportunity that Chelsea had if we kept driving. Running at the Ajax defence, we were always going to have opportunities, and in the end, we saw the fruits of that labour. We saw that when we did run at the defenders, Ajax crumbled, and we scored 3 goals in about 25 minutes, or however many it was probably even less than that, so I'm probably doing us a disservice here, but it was absolutely brilliant. Hudson-Odoi, he looked as though he had a little bit more of that sparkle back. He had the confidence to run at players, to try and take players on, and when he was in possession, he was also very patient as well, which you absolutely love to see. Pulisic, I thought he didn't have the best first half, really grew into his own in the second half. He pretty much got the assist for Azpilicueta's goal, you could say. He was the one that made it all happen, and Willian as well. He was trying really hard again last night. One thing you always know you're going to get with Willian is when he puts his mind to it, he's always going to give 100%. Sometimes I do question whether or not he's always trying to track back, but last night, Willian put in a shift, and between those 3 players, it definitely deserves a green box in this video. So the next red box, we've also got to remember, despite the incredible miracle of a 3-goal comeback in the second half, it was against 9 men, but there were so many defensive issues that we have mentioned time and time again this season yesterday from Chelsea. Organisation from set pieces. Let me give a little bit of credit where credit is due to Hakim Ziyech, who's got one of the best left foots I've ever seen at Chelsea. The way he scored that free kick, I mean, it goes down down as a Kepa own goal. That one is a bit unfortunate. Sometimes these fluky free kicks happen. It's easy to blame the goalkeeper, but the way I see it, Ziyech has put that ball in to perfection into an area of the keeper's box where nobody really knows what to do with it. Do you leave it and hope it's either going to go over the crossbar? The dip on that ball, the way he's hit that was just sensational from Hakim Ziyech yesterday. It rebounds off the foot post, hits Kepa in the face. You've now got Batshuayi saying welcome to the meme gang. It's that kind of moment for Kepa. Slightly unfortunate, but what I will say about Kepa is he probably should have done better for a couple of the other goals as well. Not only that, it's up to him to be organising his defenders when Ajax are putting crosses into the box, when there's free kicks coming into the box. Kepa needs to be more assured, and the first one in particular, yes, Tammy gets that little deflection on it which sees it go in, but he can't be getting beaten at that near post. We need Kepa to be turning up in these moments, making the big saves in order to keep Chelsea in the lead and involved in the game. Yesterday it was the attacking play that got us forward in order to get ourselves a draw. Kepa needs to be doing a lot better, but I do think, again, it's these organisational things from set pieces, particularly when the Ajax delivery was world class. It was a phenomenal ball in on multiple occasions that we just didn't deal with, and it needs to get better, particularly from our goalkeeper Kepa. So point number 6, and I would be doing this man a disservice if I didn't mention the Maradona, aka the flipping Pele, Messi, Ronaldo-esque run from Kurt Zouma. I was actually filming at my chest at the time, and I was like, no way, come on, no, just Zouma, come on, remember what you are.
Go on, Zouma! Go on, Zouma! Oh, bloody hell!
Nope. He didn't listen to me. He was doing stepovers over the bloody moon, and then he blazed it into Rose Ed. But that run was the catalyst. That run from Zouma was the epitome of the Chelsea fight back last night. You know what he did? There's actually a spider on my camera, and I don't like spiders. Weird, I don't know what to do. It's actually going to go over the lens. You guys are going to see it in a second. You might already be able to. I'm actually being disturbed in 6 Things We Learned by a spider. Look.
Get out, you little rat.
That was the driving start to the second half that we needed. Yes, it went into Rose Ed, the Matthew Harding upper, but that run from Zouma was just the show of the fight that we knew, despite being 2 goals down, we're at home at Stamford Bridge. We're not going to take our time to try and ease our way back into the game. We are going to give everything. We are going to try and make things happen that probably shouldn't happen on any other given day in football. Kurt Zouma running around 11 Ajax players to get into a shooting position is not something we normally see, which is why I firmly believe if that goal would have gone in last night, anything could have happened. Eunice said it himself. If a nuclear bomb would have gone off outside Stamford Bridge, if Chelsea's 5th goal would have counted, even if Zouma's goal would have gone in, I think we'd have all gone absolutely mental. This spider's pranging me out, I'm not going to lie. It keeps crawling over the flipping lens. Zouma's moment yesterday was just him grabbing, I hate to use this phrase, but he grabbed the game by the balls, and he was like, you know what? We're Chelsea. We're not going to lose this game. I'm going to drive forward. I've got the time, I've got the space in front of me, and I'm going to run. I believe in my abilities, and I know that I can do something here. And Zouma, despite the finish being atrocious, let's not lie about that, it was that moment, that drive, that passion and determination to get forward that was the massive difference for Chelsea at the beginning of that second half yesterday. It told everybody around him, we are not finished. We are going to come back and get something from this game because I know that we can do so. And even in the crowd yesterday, there was optimism. And I think that, again, credit to Frank Lampard. He made those tactical decisions to make the substitutions. He's on the mic now, this spider. What are you doing here, mate? No one cares about you. The tactical decisions, the substitutions changed the game. Reece James came on. Immediately we looked a lot more solid. Ajax get the 4th goal. What do Chelsea do? Do we turn off and say, you know what? Let's just say we're playing against the Champions League semi-finalists last season. We'll just say that we got humbled by a great team in Europe. No. Chelsea grabbed the game and they said, we can beat you. And we almost did. It was a special night of football at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 4, Ajax 4. That was 6 Things That We Learned. What an incredible, incredible game. Every single video I make about Chelsea at the moment, I feel like I say the same thing. It is special to follow this football club right now. It is, there's a fly in my eye now. It is thoroughly enjoyable to be making these videos for you guys every single day, whether it's a preview, a match vlog, 6 Things We Learned, transfer speculation. We've got an international break next week. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even care. I'm enjoying myself right now, being a Chelsea fan. I don't think it's ever felt this good. And even though we didn't win the game last night, we came back from 3 goals down and we showed everything that we want and expect from Chelsea teams to come back in Europe and give us something special. Thank you guys for watching. I tried to narrow it down as best that I could. There were probably some other things I could have mentioned, but it would defy the point of 6 things we learn. It would become something that is slightly more just gobble, 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 throw everything out there I can. I've tried to narrow it down to the best 6 I possibly could. As always, let me know your 6 things that you learn in the comments down below. And if you're new around here, I make videos like this after every game. Subscribe to the George Benson Football channel. I want to say a massive thank you for 70,000 subscribers, 30,000 away from 100k. Tell your gran, tell your mates, tell your dog if he can subscribe and he's clever enough to click those buttons in the order in which you need to do so. Let everybody know. There's a party going on at Chelsea right now, and I'm very glad that we can be a part of it here on this channel, celebrating the joy that is following our football club. I will catch you in the next video tomorrow. See you later. And I can't hit the lens because the spider's on it, and I'm just grown man, flipping scared of spiders. Embarrassing. He's gone.